Oh,
Yeah.
once we get it turned on, sorry.
Ready?
Ready, Judge.
Sí. Okay, de acuerdo.
Okay, calling, I'm going to start from scratch, guys. Calling cause number 2022-0D03762, State of Texas versus Victor Manuel Miller. May I have announcements, please?
Preston Munson for the state. Stage ready, Your Honor.
Rick Huffman, on behalf of Mr. Miller, we are ready, Your Honor.
And Mr. Miller is appearing remotely from the jail annex. He is also utilizing the assistance of a court interpreter, Ms. Lynette Garza. Mr. Miller, we are scheduled for a plea today. Is that your understanding of what we're doing here?
Sí.
So in order to go forward with your plea, I need to swear you in. Would you raise your right hand, please? Sir, do you swear or affirm that any testimony you provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sí.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name and date of birth for the record.
Víctor Miller, junio 2 del 2004.
Mr. Miller, as I mentioned, you are scheduled for a plea today. You should have reviewed documents with your attorney, the first of which is marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. Those are the plea papers in this case. Within that document, you're guaranteed certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to trial by jury, the right to counsel, the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses, and the right to call witnesses on your behalf and in your defense. Mr. Miller, do you recall reviewing State's Exhibit Number 1 with your attorney and signing that document?
Sí.
Did you understand everything contained within that document?
Sí.
Mr. Huffman, have you had more than 10 days to prepare a defense in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you explain the plea papers to your client?
Yes, I did, Your Honor.
Did you explain them to him in English? Or in English and Spanish, or?
Both,
I'm sorry?
mostly in English, Judge, but there may have been some Spanish. There weren't any issues communicating the plea paperwork, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry. Would you repeat that, Mr. Huffman? You said both in English, Spanish, and
Yeah, mostly English, I would say, Judge. There may have been some Spanish. But as far as I know, Mr. Miller didn't have any difficulty communicating with me about the plea papers.
Mr. Miller, the plea papers, State's Exhibit 1 are multiple pages, somewhere around 14, 15 pages. Did you have a full opportunity to review and ask any questions about that document with your attorney?
Sí.
There were no communication or language issues when you were being explained those documents?
No, entendí todo. Entendí todo lo que me.
Okay, Mr. Huffman, do you believe that your client has understood all the admonishments, rights, and consequences of giving up these rights by entering his plea today?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, are you satisfied with your attorney's representation of you?
Sí.
Mr. Huffman, any reason to believe your client is not presently competent to enter his pleas?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Miller, have you ever been found mentally incompetent by any court?
No.
Ever been examined by a doctor or psychiatrist who has found you mentally ill?
No.
So based on your testimony, your attorney's representations, and my observations of you, I'm going to find that you are competent to enter your pleas. Mr. Miller, are you a U.S. citizen?
Sí.
Where were you born?
Nací en Juárez, pero mi papá me hizo ciudadano en el 2013. Tengo mi acta de nacimiento.
Okay, in this case, you were charged with 7 counts, 7 felonies. In counts 1 through 4, you are charged with the second-degree felony offense of smuggling of persons for a pecuniary benefit. That's as to counts 1 and 4, they are all the same charge. Is that right, Mr. Munson?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So as to counts 1 through 4, Mr. Miller, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
Counts 5, 6, and 7 are second-degree felony offense, smuggling of persons under 18 years of age. As to counts 5 through 7, what is your plea? Guilty or not guilty?
Culpable.
And so I'm clear as to all counts 1 through 7, you're pleading guilty. Is that correct?
Sí.
And you're making each of your pleas freely and voluntarily?
Sí.
I will find you are making your pleas freely and voluntarily. Mr. Munson, would you summarize the evidence, please?
This case would have proceeded to trial. The state of Texas would have proven beyond a reasonable doubt on or about the 28th day of August 2022 in the county of El Paso, state of Texas. Victor Manuel Miller did then and there not only use a motor vehicle to transport individuals, namely Gabriel Quesada Luna, Maria Concepcion Garcia, Jorge Chinaba Pop, and Clara Kukum Cho, with the intent to conceal the complaints from a peace officer, and the offense was committed with the intent to obtain a pecuniary benefit. We would have further proven in counts 5 through 7 that on or about the 28th day of August 2022 in the county of El Paso, state of Texas, Victor Manuel Miller did then and there knowingly use a motor vehicle to transport individuals, namely Franco Alfonso Velasco Varela, Valerie Alessandra de Leon Garcia, and Eliza de Leon Garcia, with the intent to conceal the complainants from a peace officer, and those complainants were younger than the 18 years of age. Move to admit States Exhibit 1, the plea papers, and States Exhibit 2, 3914.
We have no objection.
States 1 and 2 are admitted. What is the plea agreement?
Plea agreement is 10 years to serve in Texas Department of Criminal Justice, probated for 5 years, a fine of $1,000, 300 hours of community service, UAs and BAs occur for yes. Sorry. The fine is $1,000. Community service hours of 300. Urinalysis and breath analysis. A curfew of 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. and all other standard conditions.
Mr. Huffman, is that your understanding of the plea agreement?
Yes, it is.
And Mr. Miller, is that your understanding as well?
Sí.
Understand that the plea agreement is not binding on the court. However, if I were to reject it, I would allow you to withdraw your pleas. If I follow the plea agreement, you may not appeal this case except on matters raised by written motion and ruled on before trial and by permission of the court. Is that the last? I was getting ready to do deferred, but it's not deferred, it's straight, right? So, sir, on your pleas of guilty and the evidence introduced, I will accept your pleas and at this time find the evidence substantiates your guilt. In counts 1 through 4, I will find you guilty of the offense of smuggling of persons for a pecuniary benefit. And in counts 5, 6, and 7, find you guilty of the offense of smuggling of persons under 18 years of age. I will sentence you according to the plea agreement at 10 years confinement in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice Institutional Division. That will be suspended for a period of 5 years of community supervision. You will be subject to urine and breath analysis, curfew from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. There will be a $1,000 fine, 300 hours of community service. Is there anything further, Mr. Munson or Mr. Huffman?
Nothing further from the state.
Not from the defense, Your Honor.
Okay, good luck to you, Mr. Miller. Now with that, is that everybody?
Thank you.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Ms. Garcia.